So imagine launching your dream brand only to discover it's already been trademarked in another country. Or ever been curious about the secrets behind the big brands like Ferrari? Today, not only we'll dive into the world of global trademarks, but I'll guide you step by step on how to ensure your brand stands unique on the world stage. By the end of this video, you'll master the art of checking trademark availability on a global level and gain insights that could save you time, money, and potential legal battles. So if you're an entrepreneur or brand owner with global ambitions, this is a must-watch. So let's dive in. Alright, before we delve further, let's get acquainted with the powerful tool we'll be using today. Meet the Global Brand Database, often referred to as GBD. So what exactly is the GBD? It's a comprehensive platform created and managed by WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization. Imagine it as a vast digital library, but instead of books, it's filled with records of trademarks under the Madrid system. Unique regional product names, emblems, and trademarks from participating IP offices from around the world. Now you might wonder, why is this essential for me? Here's the thing, in our interconnected world, simply checking trademarks in your local region isn't enough. If you dream of taking your brand beyond borders, you need to ensure your brand name or logo is truly unique and doesn't clash with existing ones elsewhere. That's where the GBD shines. It's a useful tool because it brings together data from various national and international sources, offering brand owners and entrepreneurs like you a centralized platform to verify trademark availability across the globe. No need to juggle multiple national databases. GBD has got you covered. So now that we have introduced the GBD, let's take a moment to familiarize ourselves with its layout. As you first land on the platform, you'll notice its clean and user-friendly interface. It's designed to be intuitive, even if you're new to the world of trademarks. Front and center, you'll find the search section. This is where the magic happens. So whether you have a brand name, logo, or even just a keyword in mind, this is where you'll start your journey to see if it's unique on the global stage. And to the side, there's an Explore tab. Curious about broader trends or want to see some intriguing statistics about trademarks? This section offers a visual feast of graphs, charts, and maps giving you insights into the world of branding at a glance. And lastly, don't miss out the tools menu. This is like your Swiss Army knife on the platform. From generating detailed reports to using AI-assisted tools for image classification, it's packed with features to make your trademark search efficient and thorough. Alright, with this quick tour done, let's dive into the heart of our tutorial and see the GBD in action. Mastering the search functions. Number one is quick search. Let's kick things off with the basics. Imagine you've come up with a catchy brand name. Starnova. Sounds stellar, right? Let's input Starnova into quick search bar and see if the universe has already claimed it. So as you can see, it's displaying 8 results as of October 5th, 2023. Not so many, so it depends on your product or service, and where you want to file will dictate your chance of getting it trademarked. This is a Starnova here being registered in Indonesia with the niche classification 5, related to pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, and related products. So if you're not really planning on registering this brand in the same country and in the same classification, then you may be safe. Second is the advanced search. Sometimes you need a bit more precision. Maybe you want to know if Starnova is trademarked specifically for apparel like clothing, footwear, and headgear in particular region like the European Union or EU, for example. With advanced search, you can specify criteria like the niche classification, which will be class 25, and the applicant's region, which will be IP office, EU IPO here. So let's narrow down our Starnova quest and let our search include similar words that resemble our brand name. Let's see what pops up. So in our quest to register Starnova in Europe, we have encountered a couple of potential roadblocks. Existing trademarks, Starcove and Satinova. Here's why they matter. Both Starnova and Starcove start with star. This similarity can lead to confusion, making consumers think the brands are related or even the same. Then there's Satinova. While it begins differently, it ends with ova. sounding quite close to Starnova. Again, this can cause mixed-ups. Trademark offices like the one in Europe aim to prevent such confusion. So if the brand names are too similar, especially in the same industry, there's a risk they might be mistaken for one another. Given these similarities, our Starnova might face challenges during the European registration process. It's essential to be aware of these nuances in the world of trademarks, ensuring our brand stands distinct and clear. So number 3, image search. Branding isn't just about names, it's about the visuals too. Say you have designed a star-shaped logo to go with Starnova. With the image search or by brand logo function, you can upload your logo and the GBD will scan for any similar designs. Let's give it a whirl and see if our star shines uniquely. Vienna classification search. Ever heard of Vienna classification? It's a system to categorize trademarks based on their visual elements. So if you are curious about how many brands use, say, star figures in their logo, this is where you'd find out. Let's explore this feature and see where Starnova might fit in. With search filters, after your initial search, you might be greeted with a list of results, but what if you only want to see active trademarks or just those from the specific country? That's where the search filters come into play. Let's refine our Starnova results to see only those that are active and registered in the US and Canada, and with the search strategy using conceptual similarity, i.e. determined by AI to match similar concepts. So as we can see, there are over 27,000 logos which are conceptually similar to our Starnova logo. And notice how similar they can look. So perhaps we have to filter our search by considering those that are in the classification that we want. So this would be class 25. So when it comes to trademarks, it's not just about the name. The visual element, like our star-shaped logo for Starnova, plays a crucial role too. And here we have found over 3,000 similar logos in the apparel category, niche class 25. Does that pose a risk? Absolutely. Number 1, visual confusion. Even if our star isn't identical to others, if they look alike, consumers might mix up the brands. They could think a shirt with another star logo is from Starnova or vice versa. Second, the likelihood of confusion. The US Trademark Office checks if the new logos might confuse consumers. If our star is too close to the existing ones, especially in the apparel, our application might face hurdles. Number 3, strength of the mark. Common symbols like stars can be seen as less unique. If many brands use similar stars, it's harder to claim that star exclusively represents Starnova. Logo versus name. Our unique name, Starnova, is a plus, but the logo stands on its own. If the star logo is too similar to others, it's a separate concern from the name. So in short, while our Starnova name is distinct, the star logo in a crowded field can be tricky. It's always wise to consult experts before diving into trademarking matters. So let's go to the company search. Now for a fun twist. Ever wondered about the trademarks of the big players like Ferrari? By using the owner tab of the quick search function or selecting the owner from the advanced search, you can dive into the trademark portfolios of companies. Let's satisfy our curiosity and take a peek at what Ferrari has protected over the years. Also, let's check out the map of IP offices to define which offices this company has the highest number of records. So using the quick search, we get over about 7,000 trademarks around the world, with their owners having Ferrari in their names. These could also include non-related entities and individual owners using the name Ferrari as well. So to only include only Ferrari SPA, the company that we know originating from Italy, producing one of the best luxury sport cars in the world, we'll use the filter bar and select Ferrari SPA, which now gives us around 4,090 plus results. For using the advanced search, you can select owner from the search bar, which the search will set to orthographically resemble words by default. Then you can type Ferrari SPA and make sure to sort by most relevant first. Here we get over 445,000 results, a lot more than when we were using the quick search. What we'll be doing next is filtering to include only Ferrari SPA as the owner of the trademarks, which comes to around 4,000 results, as like our earlier quick search. Now we can then click on the statistics view to map out Ferrari's trademark portfolio around the world, which may shed light into its brand strategy over the years. With owner country, you can see that the mother company in Italy takes an ultimate ownership of 4,020 plus, and only a few owned by, I assume, its subsidiaries in Switzerland, India, and Indonesia. When clicking on IP office to see where did Ferrari file its trademarks, so using the view stats as table would be easier to see than a graph. It's obvious that more were filed in Italy, but I'm also fascinated to see that Malaysia ranked the second place when it comes to Ferrari's trademarking activities. But I can't find any good sources to suggest why they have been so concerned about protecting their brands in Malaysia. Could it be one of their manufacturing bases here, accessing to raw materials or racetracks, etc.? Of course, all the key markets that are critical for Ferrari brands would be the US, UK, and European Union as a whole. The feature of the trademarks may also be of interest by some people, just to see what the company favors in terms of the design and registration of its brand. Whether as a word mark, which contains strings of characters, figurative mark, which only laid out the graphical features of the logo, or combined, or others. Apparently, many Ferrari's trademarks are combined marks, roughly about 1,400, consisting of both characters and graphics to make up the logo, and almost as many are figurative marks, and half that are word marks. The last data type that I want to point out here is the niche classification. You can probably see that the top 4 classifications applied as trademarks by Ferrari neatly reflect their core businesses. So number 1 is class 12, related to vehicles, apparatus for locomotion by land, air, or water. Then we have class 28, related to games and playthings, gymnastic and sporting articles, not including in all the classes. Number 3, related to scientific, nautical, surveying, photographic, cinematographic, etc. And then class 25, related to clothing, footwear, headgear, and so on. We can also check the application date and registration date to see how the company remains active and growing or not growing, i.e. maintaining its trademark portfolio. So if the most recent filings were related to the new set of products, that may have indicated their diversification attempts. Apparently, majority of their trademarks were applied in the 1990s and the 2000s, but not so much in the recent years. So when we talk about limitations and consideration of the global brand database, the global brand database is a powerful tool, but it's important to use it with the right mindset. So let's talk about some things to think about and limits it to keep in mind. First of all, the GBD brings together information from many different sources, but it does not include all national trademark databases. Some countries or regions might not be fully covered. So keep in mind how far your search goes. Also, the world of trademarks is always changing. Every day new trademarks are registered. The GBD does a great job of keep its records up to date, but there may be small delay. So it may take a while for the newest trademarks to show up. Given these things, it's always a good idea to cross-reference with national databases. If you're serious about a certain brand name or logo, especially for big business moves. This will make sure that you have the most complete and up-to-date information. And lastly, a word of advice for all the business owners and brand owners out there. So when choosing a brand name, you should always think about the cultural and linguistic factors as well as trademark availability. What sounds catchy and good in one language may mean something else in another. So being sensitive to and aware of different cultures can keep you from making mistakes and help your brand do well all over the world. So remember that the GBD is a tool, and like all tools, it works best when you know how to use it. As our trip through the global brand database comes to an end, let's take a moment to think about what we have learned. We have found our way through a massive world of trademarks, from simple searches to deep analysis. We have used powerful tools to narrow down our searches and dug deep into how images are categorized. We are also aware of the limitation, which is why we approach our brand strategies with both excitement and caution. The main point, you're not just searching when you use the GBD. You are putting together a plan for global success. It's about making sure your brand stands out in a world where creativity is everywhere. If you found this tutorial helpful and want to stay ahead of the branding game, do me a favor and hit the like button, share this video with other entrepreneurs, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips and guides. Let's work together to make brands that not only shine but also last. Brand with confidence. Until we meet again.